Om. 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 Sairam, everyone. Just to level set where we are in the study of Sathya Sai Vahini, we are in chapter 11 or 12 actually. Swami is talking about the Vedas. Last week we were reading about how the Vedas have to be protected and what it takes to protect them. There was quite a bit to discuss, but I think we were discussing only one or two aspects. What is to be done, what is not to be done. I think that's what we predominantly discussed last week. So I think we should read the same slide and discuss it a bit exhaustively. Sai.
Sister Vani, are you able to read?
Yes, Sairam, sister. Sairam, everyone. Karma is, really speaking, the practice of dharma. The Upanishads give us guidance on what has to be done and what has to be avoided in the spiritual journey. They direct us to revere the mother as God, revere the father as God, revere the preceptor as God, revere the guest as God, and also warn us that truth shall not be neglected, dharma shall not be neglected. So there are both positive and negative instructions. Follow these counsels, not others. Whatever conduces to your progress in goodness, accept, avoid other counsels, thus do the Upanishads instruct. In those centuries, the king himself studied in hermitages at the feet of the Upanishadic sages and helped others to study by granting economic aid profusely to the centers of learning which shone as repositories of Vedic lore. As the king saw the subjects, fostering the Vedas meant fostering the Vedic scholars and practitioners, the Vedavids. At the present time, encouragement is afforded and scholarship is honored in other branches of learning. The Vedic scholars are not given similar encouragement emoluments, but this is an important aspect that has to be attended to.
Thank you, sister. So Sairam, everyone. I will open it up for discussion. I think we were stuck only with the first paragraph last week with all the discussions. The other two paragraph or other paragraph we can discuss. Swami is talking about how the kings supported Vedas. So I will open it up for discussion. Sai.
Sorry, Uncle. In the Telugu, there's one line in the first paragraph where it says, Iviye mana Upanishatuleyoka saramu.
Yeah, this is the essence of our Upanishads.
Is it meaning like from the previous sentence, what should be done, what should not be done?
I think yes, but anyway, I'll take another look. Auntie.
Sairam. So, Sairam.
Yes, Auntie, please go ahead. I think Kalyani has a question. Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara and all that. Before that, Swami says, Iviye mana Upanishadula yoka saramu. Swami is saying, Evi cheye valayuno, Evi cheye radu ani, telesikoni.
Pravartincha. Iviye mana so she is asking
if these instructions are the essence, that's what she's asking.
Yeah, she is asking.
Yes, Kalyani, I think that's what Swami says. What needs to be done and what should not be done is being told by the Upanishads. And then Swami says, Iviye man Upanishad lokasam. This is the essence of our Upanishads. Basically, Upanishads tell us what to do and what not to do. That's what.
In Upanishads, there is Vidhi, Nisheda. Vidhi means what has to be done. Nisheda, what should not be done. So the Upanishads are telling us and guiding us in this path. So I think the Upanishads, the essence of Upanishads is the same, what Arun was saying. Sai Ram.
Sai Ramati, thank you.
So even though like the Upanishads speak about like the highest truths, they also tell us these do's and don'ts for daily life as well. Is that right?
Exactly.
Even the highest truths are told so that we practice it. Okay, that's the way we should live. And if you say Aham Brahmasmi, I mean that should be the way in which that should be our attitude when we'll deal with the world. That should be the goal towards which we have to strive. I think that's the way I would put it. So Upanishads point us directions which have to be followed. So okay, even the highest truths are only for practice. Okay, Swami says karma is only for dharma, only to practice dharma.
And the sentence which follows, Sattvanna pramaditavyam, dharmanna pramaditavyam. You should not go against whatever is said in according to the dharma. And then sattva, that is truth. Don't go against truth, don't go against dharma. So these are nisheda. They're also in the Upanishad. Not only that, Matrudeva, Pitrudeva, Bhava, everything after that also, this one is also said. Dharma shall, you should not disrespect dharma or truth. It should not be neglected. So they come under the heading that's nisheda. So both are there, positive and negative. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Anyone else would like to discuss? Yes, Sister Vani.
Sai Ram. So is this similar to Yama and Niyama in the Ashtanga Yoga, the do's and the don'ts, right?
Yeah, you could say so. There are restrictions which we have to follow, and they are also based on only the Upanishads. Even the Yama Niyama instructions are also from the Upanishads. Only though it's in a Smriti form, but they are all deriving the principles from the Vedas.
Thank you.
Okay.
And in the English, it was saying that the kings also learned in the Gurukulas. I think is Swami saying that specifically, or he's just saying that the kings should become learners of the Veda?
Yes, Kalyani, kings learned. Like Sri Rama went and learned. Janaka, even at an advanced stage, he was learning from Sukha Maharshi. So the kings also set the example for others to follow. So, if we are going to say we are going to help Swami in his mission of Veda Poshana, we also have to learn something. So I think that's the idea. So the kings of those days did it. Sorry. Yes, Sister Vani.
Sorry, brother. So I have a question clarified. So here it says that the king, they learn at the feet of Upanishadic sages. So there are different types of sages, and only specific sages can teach Upanishads.
Yeah, I don't think Swami said that in the Telugu, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In the Telugu, Swami is saying, Yatha Raja Tata Praja అన్నట్లు రాజు తాను అధ్యేతయ్యై ఇతరుల అధ్యయము కొరకు అవసరముకు ఆర్థిక సహాయము చేసి గురుకులమని వేద నికేతనముగా విలసిల్లెను. So he also became a student. That's what Swami said. The
Okay.
king also becomes a student, and he also supports places, centers of learning, so that others can learn. I think that's what Swami says.
Okay. So there is no such a thing called Upanishadic sages.
No.
So Swami's only mentioning Gurukula in the terms of he should make the Gurukulas into centers of learning. The king should make the Gurukulas into centers of learning by providing that financial support.
Centers of Vedic learning.
Vedic learning, yeah. And then there's, sorry, Sanjay Uncle, you can go ahead.
No,
Sanjay.
finish your thought and then I'll go.
No, just one last question about in the Telugu Swami saying udyoga avakashamu. So like they should be given opportunities for jobs.
Of a job.
But in what way? Like, isn't it not really
We should
like a
employ
job?
them. We should employ them. We should ask them to teach. We should pay them
Oh,
so that they can do it full time. Otherwise, they have to do some side job and then come and teach. So Swami says, give them a job. Because unfortunately, after the Western education in India, this was completely neglected, and Swami is trying to reinstate that. So
Sairam, I don't know.
I would change
Quick
it.
question. Is he in this in the Shikshavali there is Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, then Satyana Pramanya Dharma. What do you think is the need for one having said speak the truth, follow Dharma? What is the need to again come back and say do not neglect Dharma, do not neglect truth? What do you think might have been the reasoning for even as Auntie was saying, the do this but do not do that? What do you think might have been uh, the reason for that?
Okay, thank you, Sanjay. A good question from Sanjay. I will open it up for anyone to discuss. Why are the Vedas, tell the truth? Why do they have to say don't speak untruth? Don't give up truth. I think why is that need? I think that's the question. Isn't the first one implies that you don't give up? It's okay. Very good question. Yes. Anyone? Okay. So in all sadhanas, Swami has covered this in Gita Vahini also. There should be two activities which are needed for any even spiritual activity. There is something which has to be removed and something which has to be planted. Initially, you remove and then you plant. Because in this world, the negatives will always come up. So it is a warning that you may be thinking you are practicing. But then there may be situations which come where you may slip. So this is a warning saying, just watch out. So I think just reminding ourselves will help that, we don't make mistakes. It's like, if you want to go on the road, you have to go on in your lane. Don't, swerve to the other place or something like that. So both are given in the world. Do and don't do. Because both are equally important. In sadhana especially, so I would say. So I will stop here if anyone else has something to add. Kalyan, it's just so that we don't become complacent. That's all.
Thank you. That helps. Yeah.
So if teachers have to be given jobs, and what is our role? Do we have a role? I think that's a question. We can't say the kings have to do it and we just let them do it. There are no kings who are doing it. So kings here means anyone who is the leader. So I will stop there. And also sometimes we will find any Brahmin and pay them and get jobs done. We don't even inquire whether they have learned something properly. I think that also we should watch out. Swami says Vedavids, people who know the Vedas, they have to be supported. So I thought that's also important. Anyone has any ideas? So I think, we have to also learn and we have to also support wherever it's possible. And that each one can decide for themselves how and when and where. Swami said, but this is an important aspect that has to be attended. Okay, if everyone is okay, if there's nothing else to discuss, we can move. I think I'm almost, yes, Sanjay.
No, I know there is silence, but I think there's a lot to be discussed here. So maybe do share some thoughts on what it means to uh, what it means to, because oftentimes the word Swami's mission is often used in many contexts. What is that, and when Swami himself has declared that, and that kind of is crystallized in this section here when Swami is talking about fostering the Vedas. Maybe you were asking for us to have the discussion, what is it that we should be doing? And even when you mentioned uh, bring any scholar or any Brahmin to do something, how are we who don't know enough about it to make a decision on picking and choosing who's the right person? Maybe share some thoughts on that.
Very nice, Sanjay. So I think Sanjay's question is, how do we find who to support? It's a very good question. How do we know someone is good and then support them? What is the process of evaluating? I think I would say it's only by studying the Vedas we will come to know. By studying the Vedas, we will know something more so that which we can use for evaluating who is doing what. I think most of the people who have learned Rudram, when they go to temples, they know how the priests are chanting. If you have not learned, you will not know what they are doing. So this is the reality. It is just that we should not be throwing money at people who do not take it seriously, just because they say we are pujaris or something like that. So I think we should use some discrimination. And for us to use discrimination, we have to learn. At least based on what we have learned, we can also evaluate. To some extent, we may not know. But if somebody is dedicating their life selflessly, then I think that should be supported, is what I would say. There are Swami has, in other places, Swami has said, there are people who are trying to make money. They're trying to sell the Vedas. He says, don't encourage them. But if people are selfless to doing something, we can always find out and we can provide some financial support. Because I think one thing which people don't understand, if we do not financially support, we will not get the benefit of the Vedas also. Swami gives this example. He says a washerman gets all expensive clothes. He washes them, he dries them, but he has to give it back. For a couple of days, they will have it. But if they want those clothes, they have to pay money and get it. Otherwise, it will not become theirs. It's just borrowed stuff. So I think we should understand in life, some of this also matters. We will see the benefit of how financially we support, and that much more we will also benefit. We will have better understanding, better clarity. We'll also get better opportunities. I think this I think we should not forget. So it's not one way. It's by doing this, God is also going to give us multifold. In God's case, human affairs. If you want to buy something, you go and give some money, and then you get to earn an object or something. But when nature and God are involved, you invest something, it is 100-fold, 1,000-fold we get benefit. God doesn't even ask. If you plant a seed for a tree, year after year, fruits will come. But we have to plant that seed. So that's what Swami is talking about. Because sometimes we will also not get, you see, when kings went and studied means It is not they went and studied and said, okay, Sai Ram, and come off. They made sure, that places run well, others are able to come and able to study. So I think we have a role to play, and we don't have to do everything beyond our means, but I think within our means, I think we should consciously do, and that will benefit us immensely. Is my view. I don't know, Sanjay, I've been rambled.
No, it's very good. Just, I think it bears discussing, when Swami has taken the trouble to write this down in this section here. I think it is important for us to ruminate on it and just have it in front of our eyes for a little longer to allow the thoughts to, to or to have a good takeaway and understanding of it. No, thank you.
Silence.
When you said, Uncle, that you shouldn't be trying to sell this knowledge, like you should not be trying to sell the Vedas. But at the same time, you have to provide jobs to people who know the Vedas. I guess, how do you navigate that?
So sell means profit is involved. Job means profit is not involved. It's a livelihood. That's the way I understand. Generally, salaries means, it's just commensurate with the work they do. But if you're doing business, you're trying to make more money. Okay, so there's a lot of difference. How much of... yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
Swami is saying here, వేదాధ్యయనము చేసిన పంతులే వేదమును ఒక వ్యాపార రంగమున దించి ధనార్జనకై వేదమును అమ్ముకున్నారు. Lack of support from the society, those who had studied Vedas, because they don't have the economic support from any of the society members, they had to come to the stage where, they became, it became a business. It became a business, and then they started charging this much for this much for this. So such was the situation in those days. Even now, they don't have that kind of, they don't have that kind of support from people. Generally, they are looked down upon. That profession who takes up this Vedadhyana is looked down upon by the society. It's not a profession for them. But actually, those Veda Vidulu, that means those who knew Vedas, some of them, of course, have got this low tendency of selling it. Selling in the sense, they charge for such a service, you have to say this. So such was the situation was very bad. So people sometimes they go to that level. Am I right?
Yes, Auntie. Yeah. So we have pushed them to that stage.
We have put them to that stage.
That's what Swami is.
It is not considered a profession at all. Yes. Not like an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or anybody. That profession is looked down because, we need those services from those Vedic scholars on certain occasions. But actually, when we study, if we study Vedas thoroughly, right from morning till evening, what should be done, what should not be done is mentioned there. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Yes, Sister Jyoti, I think you raised your hands a couple of times. You had to unmute and speak, Sister. Sister Jyoti is communicating in silence.
Sorry.
Sairam, Sister.
Sorry, I thought Auntie was covering, so I just lowered my hand. But
okay.
Just wanted to point out that, as Auntie said, the other professions are given more importance and all in today's world. Swami is saying that other scholarship and honor is given to other branches of learning, right? Because that's the source of income, people are thinking. Whereas the Vedic scholars and all were not paid or not recognized. And that is where the deterioration of our culture in Indian culture started going down. I think Swami is stressing more on that if that becomes our basic knowledge equally with other career learnings, what we do, then probably that Vedic, the basic understanding of what is right, what is not, the dharmic culture will grow in the culture of Bharat, what was there originally. I think Swami is stressing more on that probably the kings or the leaders of today's world need to bring this into the education system, where the Vedic knowledge also becomes the base of learning as part of a subject, or given equal importance with other branches of learning. Just that. I thought I'll just...
Thank you very much, sister.
Thank you.
Anyone else has something to add? If not, we'll move.
Dharma rakshati rakshitah. Dharma protects those who protect it, says the Shruti. If people come forward to foster the sources of Dharma, the good act by itself will help foster those who do it. The study of the Vedas has become today the task of the economically weak. People have reconciled themselves to this situation. They associate the study with such a sad and pitiable picture. Vedic studies have come down to this deplorable pass. The very Pandits who have attained scholarship in the Vedas are using it as a commercial item that can be sold. They do not demonstrate the value of Vedic study in the peace and harmony of their lives, and thus win reverence for the Vedas by personal examples. The Vedas are being misused by them for earning a pittance rather than liberation and peace. This is the reason why Dharma is receiving a setback, and anxiety and fear are spreading among men. The world can win back peace and harmony only when such persons are persuaded to practice the ideals laid down in the Vedas and thereby serve as a beacon lights to guide mankind aright. Else downfall is inevitable.
Thank you, Auntie Shari.
Yeah. Dharmo rakshati rakshitah. Dharmamunu manamu rakshinchina, manalanu dharmame rakshinchunu.
If Dharma protects those who protect Dharma, if we protect Dharma, that Dharma will protect us in turn.
ఈనాడు వేదాధ్యయనం అనునది కేవలము ఆర్థికముగా బలహీనుల కర్తవ్యముగా చిత్రింపబడి,
Today, the study of the Vedas are considered merely for the sake of earning a livelihood and is of the pursuit of very weak people and who think that's their duty.
మిక్కిలి అధోగతిలో ఉన్నది. ఆర్థికముగా బలహీనుల కర్తవ్యముగా చిత్రింపబడి మిక్కిలి అధోగతిలో ఉన్నది వేదాధ్యయనం.
So the study of the Vedas have fallen down to such depths because of this, people pursuing it for the sake of money, and only those who are weak who are pursuing that, the study of the Vedas.
అసలు వేదాధ్యయనమును చేసిన పంతులే వేదమును ఒక వ్యాపార రంగమున దించి,
even the Pandits who have studied the Vedas, even they themselves are reducing it to business proposition as a marketplace in the marketplace.
ధనార్జనకై వేదమును అమ్ముకొంచున్నారు.
They are selling the Vedas for the sake of earning money.
వేదార్థమును ఎరిగిన పండితోత్తములే ఆచరణ రూపమైన ప్రచారమునకు విరుద్ధముగా ప్రవర్తించుచున్నారు.
Even the Pandits who have understood, known the Veda and their meaning, they themselves are in their practice, they are not following it. They are following an opposite path.
వేదము పొట్టకోటి విద్యగా వినియోగించుచున్నారు.
Vedas are being used for the sake of the stomach.
For filling their stomach.
Filling the stomach, sorry.
పెట్టుకో. ఇదే అధర్మమునకు లోక అశాంతికి మూల కారణము.
This is the reason for adharma and also lack of peace in the world.
ఇట్టి వార్లకు గట్టిగాన అప్పచెప్పి తిరిగి సక్రమమైన మార్గమున ఈ వేద ప్రమాణములను అనుసరించినదే లోక కళ్యాణము.
For the sake of the welfare of the world, this has to be told in no uncertain terms firmly, and it has to be brought back in a right manner for it to be flourishing.
లేకున్నా పతనము తప్పదు.
If not, fall is inevitable.
పొట్టకూటి విద్య అంటే లైవ్లీహుడ్.
Livelihood.
లైవ్లీహుడ్ చూడండి.
Okay, little more, I think.
That's a లేకున్నా downfall is inevitable.
Okay. That's all is in English.
పతనము
Okay, and thank you. So I will stop here. Anyone who would like to discuss any of the points raised here, Vaishwan, please go ahead.
I think the Vedas are being misused by them for earning a pittance. He has translated like that.
Yes.
Swami says Pottakuti Vidya. That means it's a live food to fill our stomach.
So Swami is telling we should support and protect the Vedas, which is protecting the Dharma. And then the Vedas in turn will actually protect us in every way possible. And I think that's what it is. So we have to do everything in our capacity to foster and make the Vedas flourish. I think we have to study, we have to support. So I stop here. I think Sitaram is not here. He would have otherwise spoken about Veda Poshana. Sitaram, it's an opportunity.
I don't. You don't want to. I think we have encouraged everyone to join the initiative, and I think many devotees have utilized the opportunity to register, and they're being part of the Veda Poshana initiative. So this 15th, we all are having an online first orientation session on Veda Poshana. So all are welcome to join that session on how the curriculum would be and how the classes will be conducted, and some gurus who have learned Vedas, they will share their experiences too. So in this way, in this small way, we are also trying to do what Swami has instructed in Sathya Sai Vahini that we are seeing on the screen right now. At least Veda Dhyayanam will start, but that is not the goal of Vedas, is what Swami is telling throughout these two chapters. Veda Dhyayanam should continue to become Veda Charana, where we understand the meaning, and like Swami said here, even the people who know the meaning, they are acting in the opposite way. So if you are able to go in line with the understanding and then enjoy the fruits of Vedas, both Iha and Para will be sanctified. So that I'll stop on. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sitaram. So that is our way of doing some Veda Poshana. So thank you, Sitaram. Anyone else?
Sorry, Uncle. So I know we've spoken before that, anyone who's trying to sell spiritual knowledge, it's, not right and goes against, what Swami would want. So definitely like, people shouldn't be selling any kind of Vedic knowledge or teaching or anything like that. So then when it comes to how do you like, I'm just still trying to reconcile like giving the job. So like I guess if you're asking somebody to do something for you, then I think you had mentioned that, you should pay them, I think you mentioned a good way is to calculate like how much you earn per hour and give them that much. So that's one way that we, I guess, practically can do that. And then I'm just wondering about like this jobs idea, like giving jobs to people with Vedic knowledge. Yeah, I'm just wondering how to reconcile that, because if you're paying somebody to share learning, isn't that similar?
Yeah, I think very good question, Kalyani. So I'll open it up for others to say, how Swami is saying they should be provided jobs, and how are we to do? I think that's the question. Anyone has any ideas how we can do in our own small capacity? How can we provide them jobs? I think that's the question.
You also know of how maybe Swami has done that, or if the Veda Pathashala, was that kind of like a Gurukula type of thing? Or?
Yeah, so the Veda Pathashala was a Gurukula. The students were not charged. The teachers were paid. Okay, so that's a model. And they were given all what they need. Even today, when Swami conducts yajna and all that, the Vedic Pandits are very well compensated. It's not that they charge, but they are compensated on our own accord. It's not, that's why, sometimes we should not ask them, how much do you want? We have a tendency to say, for this puja, how much? That causes problem. So they will generally, somebody will say, give, however, whatever you feel. Then we'll say, this fellow is after money. So these are things which happen. So I think we should know what to pay from our side. Today we were reading at our center. Swami says, if you give below your capacity, it is theft. If you give above your capacity, it's conceit. Both should not happen. So within our capacity, that's why I said, if we are earning an hourly rate, I think that should be a good benchmark to give that person. At least we give them equal weight. We don't think, oh, my job is better than his. See, that is where that itself proves to us we treat at least on par. That's why I think in the previous, I think we have discussed it earlier. What is the right manner is what we earn per hour we can pay. And that way, in our heart, we have, with our capacity. Then people say, oh, maybe we will deduct some expenses and pay, but it's up to each person. But generally, that should be the criteria so that we give according to our capacity. So I think we don't have to overextend ourselves. So I hope that answers your question. And when you say job, even when we ask somebody to come and perform a puja, that itself is a job. We are giving them an employment. That's even today we have contract employees, consultants. They also have a job. It's not that you have to have payroll and salary and things like that. Even that's also giving them a job, giving a consultant fees or. So I think any form of keeping them employed according to our means, I think it's important. So I hope that answers your question. I don't know if anyone else has something to add, please do so. Yes, Sitaram, please go ahead.
Sairam, I have another question. The other side of it that
Yes.
Kalyani sister asked. So there are a lot of organizations who are selling Vedas and so-called Hatha Yoga as an example. So how should one see such things? Because there are a lot of young adults who get attracted to such packages. So how should one see such things in the society? And what should be our approach to such things? We maintain distance, but what is it that we see if someone asks us?
Okay, very good question, Satyaram. I will open it up for discussion. Mine will be just an opinion but based on some certain instruction by Swami. But I will open it up for discussion.
Sairam, can you rephrase it? Is he
Okay.
talking about only the yoga, Kada Yoga, or
Yeah, he's
general?
talking about everything, brother. So he's saying there are people who come up with packages. There are people who will say, know yourself, 10-week course. You have to pay 10,000 rupees. It only would be so great, But there are people marketing these courses. This is Putta Kosam, for livelihood, which is sad. So I think he's including all that. Now, Sitaram, I hope I am not overextended.
That's right, Anna. Yeah. Everyone who's able to milk some money from
Yes, very
for
much.
themselves. There are big names in the market, but I don't want to mention the names in this group. But yeah, how should we?
How to deal with it? That's the
Yeah,
question. One is for us to deal, and
correct.
how do we? What about others? Who may be
Yeah,
missing?
someone would reach out to us, young adults especially. They say, "Oh, this is happening here, that is happening there."
Yes.
So
Good question, Sitaram. I will open it up.
And Sairam, brother. So Bhavan was insisting in this paragraph. I remember the practice of what we learn. No? So Bhavan is finding fault. We are not the Vedavids are not practicing what they learned. No? So the stress is importance on the practice of what we learn, not that getting dakshina is a common thing accepted part in our culture. So if they practice, then the view will be different. The view will be different, and the learners also will learn correctly. They mean so. This guru is practicing what he teaches, and we are going to him, and we are learning, and we are changing ourselves into a better man. So we must pay him dakshina, because if we are not supporting him, how can he do this service? So that is how we have to approach this. Even for the yoga or anything, if they don't have that practice, it's no point of going after them. No, as Brother Sitaram said, it's a mania, like, no, everybody, I said, even in Toronto, in our area also, we can see that a lot of boys are going to certain people to get that knowledge. For what is the question, no? Are they want to change themselves into a better person, or they want to earn money and through that? That's the question is there. So Bhavan's importance is practice what you preach. This is how I can reconcile. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Perseverance. Anyone else has something to add? Yes, Sanjay.
Sairam Arno. So I think each one finds the guru they seek. So after having, from an organizational perspective, after having the opportunity, the blessing to, in some way, be, either introduced, connected, related, or in this Sri Sathya Sai organization, if one still feels the urge to go elsewhere, in and of itself, there's nothing one can do about it, because, like I said, each one finds a guru that they are seeking. But a bigger problem that has to be recognized, a bigger issue that has to be recognized here is, somewhere recently I was in a discussion was about multi-faith prayers or unity of religions. It's similar to that in the sense, those who talk about unity of religions most often have not understood their own religion to begin with, and are regurgitating what is at the very the talking points to force a sense of unity. And so in that sense, it is, if one is in this research organization and has made any effort at all, or at least a commitment to study and or at least listen to Swami, then the urge to go elsewhere will be lesser. And I think that's probably what I would say. I think it's hard to it's hard to kind of draw a red line, so to speak, because it's, again, each one gets what they're seeking. But it indicates a lack of probably, not judgment, but probably a lack of lack of seriousness about lack of seriousness of being in the streets of this organization, I would say.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Anyone else has something to add? So I just wanted to point out, Swami says the Vedic Pandits have been pushed to this state because the support was not provided to them. Actually, so Swami is putting the blame on everyone else, not necessarily the Vedic Pandits. Of course, the Vedic Pandits also. But he says in the previous paragraph that because people have not supported, they have been pushed to this state of selling it. I think that's what Swami has said. And I think Sanjay nicely pointed out. Sometimes, we want quick success. We think something really fancy, something very colorful and flamboyant and things like that. Then we will enroll and go and follow. So that also shows a lack of faith in what Swami is saying. We will say Swami is all-knowing God, avatar. But then we say we have to be open-minded. We should hit from others also. The question we had to ask is, have we learned everything that Swami had to teach and practiced and benefited? But I think we cannot control other people's behavior. Swami himself says, don't force anyone. It has to come from source. But I think if we practice and if we have benefited, others will see and others will also follow through. And I think that's the best way, Sitaram. We have to show, people will say, what is the proof that you're following the right path? I think that's the question. It's a sticky or tricky thing. So I think by ourselves practicing, if we are studying the Vedas, we should practice, So I think that's the way we should put it. I will stop here. Yes, sister.
Yeah, brother, I'm trying to understand, is that the sentence of first, the source of dharma. The source of dharma is referred to Vedas only, the Vedas part?
Yes, sister.
Okay. What's the source of dharma? Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else has something to say? Swami is giving a bleak warning also. He says, else downfall is inevitable. Patana, Swami says, everything will fall down. Okay, Sai Ram, sister.
Sai Ram, brother. So it's not just only learning to chant, but we also need to understand the meaning so that we know what to do and what not to do and things like that, right? So
yes, sister.
So what can we do in order to understand the meanings and all that? So what, we are starting with Veda Poshana, Parayana, and just to chant. So how can we improve on our understanding of the Vedas?
I will open it up for comments from others. How can we do it?
We have many years of YouTube Sanskrit classes by Uncle. So I think Uncle has gone through all of Namakam, Chamakam, many other chants, meanings. So that's a place for us to learn, I guess.
Should not become a marketing thing, but it's okay.
No,
Swami,
no.
yes, Swami gives us all opportunities. If we seek, the opportunities will come. I think that's all I would say.
And Sister Vani, we are learning Medha Suktam on Sundays at 8 p.m. If you want to join, the same link.
Sure, sister. Thank you.
Sairam Sita.
Sairam. I think to Sister Vani's question, I know she knows the answer. She's just stirring the discussion. That's why I'm saying it. I think every discourse that we are studying is Veda. It is no different from Veda. All the Vahinis we are studying is Veda, study of Veda. So I think we are already one step ahead if we are really focusing on all these meanings that Swami is telling, all the words that we're discussing here. And when you chant, if you're able to reconcile those meanings and keep that into daily practice, at least to some extent, I think that itself is real Veda Charana. And every word that Swami is speaking is from Vedas only. Like there is no deviation at all. And we have discussed this and we have confirmed it with our own limited understanding. Also, we are able to confirm. That means it is Veda only which is talking to us. So I think that is how we should see, and that is the faith we should have. Most important. Side.
Thank you very much.
And Uncle, I'm not marketing you, but I was just saying, I think, like Sister Vani said, I think it's difficult to find that kind of, the meaning, more than just like a superficial meaning, and also connecting it to Swami's teaching. So I think that's why I was sharing that in case people were not aware.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Then my preparation has to be a bit more rigorous, that's all.
Yeah, I have gone back to review some of them because I'm also trying to teach, right? So, I will for sure will reference those videos. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yes, Sanjay.
Sairam, I have a question. See, this is something a question that can come up here is, the Vedas have sustained themselves for ages, right? Now, it's very hard to impress upon ourselves how in a limited lifespan of ours compared to the span of the Vedas, what does it mean when it says here that if you neglect it, it'll lead to your downfall? What does it mean? Because we have limited lifespan. What is how to raise that sense of urgency on what it means to practice and sustain and support and nourish all of this if we have limited lifespans and Vedas have been there over ages? What does that mean, and how? Because I think what it comes down to is a sense of urgency is not there. If we have something that will go bad in our own lifetime, then of course we will do XYZ, we'll go to a consultant, get take actions. But how to bring about that sense of urgency to understand how our own actions or what we do in our own lifetime can actually sustain something that has already sustained itself over ages. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you, Sanjay. I will open it up for others to share their thoughts and ideas. What do we, is there a sense of urgency? How we go about? What can we do? Is there an expectation from Swami that we do something?
I'll just add one slight thing. Of course, because Swami said it, one has to, but in the general sense is what I was asking.
How? Yes. I think the question is how, I think I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Sanjay's question is how, because we have limited lifespan. We have limited time to study, maybe even to practice. So we are so far behind. So what can we do? And how can we say that we have to do something to keep it alive? I think that's a question. So I will ask others to chime in and share your thoughts, please, Sarah.
Sairam, brother, I remember Bhavan explained, maybe in the Gita, the Glani. So the practice of the Veda teaching is going down. No, and that's a cause for avatar to come. So what Bhagavan expects, it looks, let us practice. Let us practice what we learn, as Sitaram put it. So Bhagavan is putting out Vedas. So every sentence is full of meaning, and when we study and you don't know who is this man, and that of astonishment comes to me sometimes. What a knowledge he's putting out. So the Veda knowledge he's putting out. So practicing the values in the Vedas means fostering the Vedas. So if we may not study Sanskrit, because I am not in Sanskrit, but Bhagavan is saying Veda. So as Sitaram said, if we practice it and get the benefit of that, then we will see, I have some years left. So let me see that Veda is fostered through at least fostering the Pandits. As you said, somehow or other, let us say, put our money or whatever is that, so that organization. I am not sure whether Prasanthi Vidman Mahasabha is still going on or stopped. I don't know, but brother better explain it. But the practice is what is expected from Bhagavan's teaching. So when we practice it, that means Veda will grow. That's the meaning, no? That's the meaning Bhavana explaining everywhere. So Glani does not mean that it is destroyed, no. The practice of that is missing. So that's what Avatar comes and asks us to practice what we learn. Even his play and even his small boy, as a small boy, he wrote a play, no? So do as you say, no? So those are the things that Bhavan emphasized as a boy, from a boy to up to now. So I think practice is important. For example, I do not want to offend anybody. I don't know any personal view here, but I am saying is in his birthday, 60th birthday time, he said, okay, if you are my devotee, give up these three things, he said, no? Flesh eating, smoking, and drinking, like that. If you are already on this spot, from this one, stop it. So, well, how many of us have stopped it? That's a question, no? So our faith and our intention, our faith has not grown yet. We said so many years ago. So these are the things. So I think we have to practice what we learn. That's the thing I can say. Then the Veda will grow. Because Veda is already there, as Sanjay said, Veda is continuing. So the practice is not continuing. So let us practice it. Thank you, Sayaram.
Thank you very much. brother. Yes, Sister Anna.
The one time we have learned that in Gita Vahini also, the Swami said anybody can, some of the people have memorized the 700 slokas, and but still, if they by acquiring knowledge is not matters, like how you put it into practice, like how the Sivada said, even one sloka, if you dive into it and put it into practice, the lifetime sometimes is not enough for us to memorize and understand everything. So this is the way I look at it. Even picking one sloka has so much meaning, so much things. If we contemplate as much as possible, I think that's the only thing we can do within our limited lifespan. Thank you, Saram.
Sairam, sister. Yes, brother Muralidharan.
Saram. No, I just want to know. To my knowledge, Swami has encouraged and clearly said everyone can chant Veda. But for that, we have to have Sanskrit knowledge and proper this thing. That also he has said. But at least he encouraged everyone has the right to, women, men, or any, anyone. So, but that is, he must, so that is why at least we are trying a little bit. But to my knowledge, from Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Vivekananda, they have taught Advaita and even up the modern say, especially the modern saints. To my knowledge, no other, because traditionally for centuries, it's for Brahmins. Their duty to study Vedas and teach Vedas, but others haven't done it. So, but for every invasion, the Mughal invasion, then British, Western, their colonial time. So centuries of system gradually changed, and that's obviously one of the main reasons for the plight, for this plight. But Swami clearly has said, but any other spiritual leader has clearly said, like Swami, that everyone can learn Veda. Maybe here and there someone might do, but I am just want to know whether any other spiritual leader has said that. Swami authoritatively said that. So that is a very important this thing. So I just want to know. I am not really clear, so I am asking that question. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Lalita?
Saram uncle, going back to what Sanjay uncle was saying about how the Vedas have existed for ages, I'm wondering if the question is whether it's about the upliftment of the Vedas themselves or of ourselves through the Vedas as the means for it. Because I know where Swami mentioned earlier about providing the support to centers of Vedic learning and those who are dedicating their lives to its study. But I think it's more, I'm wondering if it's more so a means for ourselves to gain access to that knowledge through them, as opposed to us necessarily helping sustain the Vedas. Because, like what was mentioned earlier, the Vedas will last regardless of what we do and where we are. They are meant to last. So I think it's, if our desire for the upliftment of ourselves is there, I think maybe the Veda, through that process, we are doing our part to sustain or uplift in the Vedic regard, as well as what Swami was mentioning, maybe.
Thank you very much, Lalita. Anyone else has something to add? Okay, so yes, Sitara.
Sorry, Anna. interrupted your thoughts.
No, my thoughts are not interrupted.
I was just thinking on Sanjayana's question. So I think some of the practical things that Swami has himself mentioned in his discourses were, I think, in early 1980s or during those discourses, 60s, when Swami started this Veda Pathshala. I think one of the discourses that I heard like 1 week ago, Swami was telling about Ramabrahma Garu. He's telling when Ramabrahmam talks, it is like Veda itself is speaking. And then he mentioned, I think, another person, Subramanya Shastri Garu. And he said, when this person talks, his tone rings like Veda. As if, Ganta Ram lag vastundi. That's what Swami is telling. So I think both of them would have felt very happy that Swami is mentioning their names. And as soon as he said that, he said, Kani, where do their children know Veda? They are teaching everyone Vedas, but do their children, can their own son chant Veda? So this is why Vedas are falling apart, is what Swami has told. And he said the root cause of the entire downfall of Vedas is because of Brahmins, because they do not have faith in Vedas and they are going after secular knowledge, leaving out the spiritual knowledge. And then I think he gave the example of a hotel owner going to a medical shop for a medicine when he has a headache, while the medical shop person goes to the hotel owner for a coffee when this person has a headache. Though the medicine is there for each of them here and there, and he compares west to east and east to west, where west is the hotel keeper, while I think the medicine shop is in east, where people are coming for mental peace. So I think the solution is very much within our own homes. How much how much are we encouraging our own families to learn Vedas or do at least minimum study of Swami's teachings or do at least once in a week bhajans, the 9 code of conduct. Like, I think all these are extracts from Vedas only that Swami has brought to us in a very understandable form. So if you are able to do that within our own family circle to start with, I think the entire country would obviously change. Is always Swami. That's what I think Swami says. Individual, family, then the grama, then the city, then the state, then that goes across country as well. I think that's what Swami has also done as an example. So thought that could be a good example, a good practical way that we can do at least. If our own children doesn't listen to us, who will listen? So, stop there, Saira.
Sairam, Sita. Anyone else has something to say? Okay. Hope I will speak for a little while, but I hope it's not too much. People can stop. I think Sitaram, you mentioned about Swami telling people not learning, the children not learning. I remember, I think it's the 1980s when Swami's discourse. I think it's before 86, I think 84 or something like that. Gantikota Subramanya Shastri, he's the one who, for whom the Sai Gayatri was revealed. So in the audience, Gantikota Subramanya Shastri was there. His son, Dr. Subhara, was there. And his grandchildren were also there, Ravi Shankar and Sanjay. Swami openly took them to task. He said, Gantikota Subramanya, great Vedic scholar, Ghanapati. But his son became a physics graduate and his PhD and went and worked for the UN. Doesn't know any Vedas. Grandchildren don't even know how to speak Telugu. So Swami took them to openly bring them to task. And I think from then Dr. Subbarao started learning Vedas. So I will, though in his old days, he knew actually he had done some Adhyayana, but he had neglected it. So he again went back to the roots. So I am reminded of that. But they took it in the right spirit and they made efforts to.
You were in the audience, no, that time?
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, okay. And so then I will come to the Sanskrit, Swami's teachings, Vedas. A few slides, and I think this chapter or previous chapter, Swami says Vedas are done by God. It cannot be equated with even avatars, Devamsa Sambhutas, and so on. So Swami, though of course Swami has given us the essence, Sri Krishna has given us the essence of Upanishad, but Swami does not say that equals the Vedas. I think that we should be very, very clear. Swami gives primary importance to Vedas. Yes, see, we already discussed jnana and karma, karma jnana, and things like that. So Swami has given various very basic instructions, as Brother Siddhartha said, don't eat meat and give up that and things like that. Actually, that is for preparing you for chanting Vedas. Because without that, you can't learn Vedas. And I think that's important. And so I think when Swami says things, see, the reason why Swami is saying this is people who are trying to climb up the ladder, so it is only to those Swami speaking. See, I think we can say we don't know Sanskrit. There are many, I am very happy that there are many old devotees. They're learning Vedams and they were learning Sanskrit because they think in the next life they will start at a better spot than this year. So that was also, you see, unless we learn. And the second thing is we say we have to practice. We should understand the Vedas. First we learn to chant. When we understand the meaning, then by regular chanting, Swadhyaya na pramati, Swadhyaya na pramatitavyam, or Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam, in Siksha Swami says. We have to regularly study and we have to regularly share with others. The reason is we cannot shirk the duty. If people don't want to take up that's fine. But by chanting the Vedas, we will be able to practice it. That is the power of the mantras of the Vedas. You can't read English and that will not make you practice. But the Vedas, the sound potential is so good, so great, that it will make you able to practice very easily. That is the reason Vedic chanting is important, Vedic learning is important. But I think, we will say, we are old, we don't want to learn Sanskrit. We have got all what we know in other places. But then Swami is making this statement. The amount of importance we want to give, we have to decide for ourselves. It's not that everyone has to give importance, but I don't think we can limit, because Swami has again and again, whatever I'm saying is actually Swami has given in many discourses, because he says the importance of Sanskrit. And I think during the First World Conference, he says, you all don't know Sanskrit because of that you all cannot understand Upanishads. The truths in the Upanishads cannot be understood in any other language. These are words spoken by Swami. So the thing is, Vedas, by understanding the certain meaning, superficial meaning or some in-depth meaning, but then regular chanting makes us tuned. We become what's called a Shrotriya, or it becomes powerful because every mantra in the Vedas is very powerful. So we can only practice through chanting. So the reason why Swami is saying Vedic Pandit, they are not chanting. They only chant when they go for a program or something like that. They don't do what's called a Nityanushtana. Every day they have to study, every day they have to study the Vedas. They are not doing that. I think that's what Swami is referring to. But in our own small way, we also can learn. I think whatever we do here is never lost. In our next life, I think Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, if you work hard, in the next life, you will be born in a situation where you can continue your sadhana better. So I think we should not take it lightly. Means it's not that everyone has to accept it, but I think we should understand the context in which Swami is saying this. Yes, small instructions Swami has given, don't tell lies, don't sealing on desires, give up meat eating and things like that. They are very basic jnana. I think we talked about jnana, karma. So they are also important because they are the foundation for us to. But Swami here is talking only about whoever is interested in maintaining the Vedas and uplifting Vedas, who want to join hands with Swami in his mission of Veda Poshana. And I think we have a duty. So I will leave it at that. I hope, whatever, if anyone wants discourses where Swami has spoken, I can send. Please contact me, but I will just leave it. Stop. Saira.
Also, please answer Vimale's question about, he had a question now about Or is it only Baba said?
Okay.
Or
I think the others also have said, brother, but not to the extent the way Swami has insisted. Actually, there are a couple of other groups also. They have established Veda Gurukulas and so on. They're doing great work. So I would just leave it at that. So actually, many of them learned from Swami. That's the way I would put it. But the way Swami has taken it, every university student learns it. Every college student learns it. To that degree, I don't think people have. Only Swami took it to masses, the Vedic learning. So Swami was a forerunner, I would say, in this field. But the others have picked up. Almost every well-known spiritual leader in India is actually setting up Gurukulas. So I will stop with that. Sairam.
thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Jyoti, please go ahead. Sister, you have to unmute and speak.
Sorry, I just feel maybe you might feel this question is a bit silly, but I'm just going to ask because it's just pestering me right now. Right now, we probably are seeing the downfall already into our culture, right? Because of the avoiding of Vedic learning or whatever it is there. But Swami also said the golden age is going to come, and then we are going towards the Satyug from the golden age. So when that cycle is going to repeat, definitely Vedic knowledge is going to again uplift itself by it will come. Then only we reach to that stage. Is that understanding right? Like, to think that we have to still keep hope and try our level best what we can do in this birth, whatever we can do. And it will, because if it is a cycle repeating all the yugas in the golden age and then going to Satyug, won't the Vedic knowledge, Veda will again be revived by?
Okay, good question, Sister Jyoti. I think I missed the statement by Lalita also. She said the Vedas have always been there and they will always live. If you read the Upanishad Vahini, Swami will tell many of the branches of various Vedas are lost. What we are left with is only means less than 1 or 2% of the Vedas. Okay, that's a reality. And Swami attributes it to people neglecting the study. And those things, when we say lost from human memory, there may be a few stray people in the world who still had it. But the thing is, it is not available for vast majority of the people. So I think if anyone wants statistics, they can read Upanishad Vahini. Swami says how many of the Vedic branches have been lost from human usage, practice, and so on. And I think your question.
Sorry to just interfere in between. Just I wanted to say it is lost, meaning it exists still, but it's not in our awareness of the human people are not into the learning or exposed to that. That is what it means, lost.
Yes, sister. And I think very nice. Because that is why if we, basically in any field of science, if the science is sort of lost, people will set up laboratories, do research, and we'll practice, and then we will again get back the knowledge. So that is what needs to be done, and it's doable. Swami will say, through divine grace, you will be able to access some of this knowledge. But for that, we should become deserving through our own actions, and I think that's what matters. Yes, the Vedas will always be there. Swami in the Dharma Vahini says, Dharma is not completely lost. It is just the practice is lost. So I will stop here, Sairam.
So we have to hold on with that hope that it will. We should try, right?
So golden age will not come if each of us don't contribute our share.
Work towards it, right? And also when you said if we keep chanting Vedas, we will slowly start adapting that, or we'll start following those values in our life. So it is definitely those vibrations when we chant, probably those vibrations affect our mental, intellectual, buddhi thing, which makes us to follow those values, right? Isn't it that transition that way?
Yes, sister, he is very right. Yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Swami has spoken about it quite a bit on this side.
In any particular text you're referring to?
Discourses, many discourses, every Navaratri discourse.
What do you? Oh, okay.
Every Dashara, Swami will talk about it. When the Veda Purusha Sapta Yajna starts, at least 2-3
Now,
discussions.
during
on
those,
it.
right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sai Ram, sister.
Sairam, brother. So one question here, I think is related to what Brother Sanjay asked. So with there are so much to learn, and with our limited lifespan, what is really that we can do at this point of time? Kind of what you think is the best. We are trying our best to study and all Swami's teachings and trying to understand the Vedas. But I know we cannot master everything what is said in the Vedas, so what Swami has taught. But I'm trying to. I thought of that one thing only. But is there is anything, something that we can take it up at this point of like a limited time? Thank you.
Very good question, sister. Very good. Anyone would like to share your thoughts, please? Just no one is speaking, so I will again speak. Anyone who wants to speak, please. Brother Sivadas, please go ahead.
From what you said, I can answer it. What you
Yes.
said is, whatever you study, okay, let us learn Sanskrit and study whether the Rudram or whatever it is, but be an acharam, and what is called in English?
Yes, acharam, proper
Acharam.
discipline,
Follow.
proper discipline, spiritual discipline.
Yeah, with the spiritual discipline, repeat. That's what the brother is saying, no? All over, we have to chant it. Chant it. So when we chant it, then what we find is it will vibrate our body, and as Jodi said also, vibrate the body, mind, intellect, and everything. Gayatri mantra is the same thing. So that will open up new facets of truth, we can say. So that way, what is it? Whatever that small portion we learn, we have to chant it regularly.
Yes.
That way, it will spread. Yeah, definitely it is spread. And also one point I want to make, brother, about Jodi's thing. Bhagawan said in several discourses also, Bhagawan touched about the yugas. And Bhagavan said, yeah, I think even in many places he has said, Satya Yuga, you cannot separate the yugas because we are practicing what the Vedas gives us. We are practicing and living a good life. That is Satya Yuga for you. So we can't wait for Satya Yuga to come and Treta to come. So this is a golden age. So already the golden age is there for those who have practicing. Golden age is already there. So that point also we have to make note of that. The time yugas may not be the correct interpretation, I think. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Sister Aruna, for your question. See, Swami gives lots of options for us. He says, if you can't chant, just listen. Shravanam itself is a big thing. Okay, every day sit down and listen. You don't even have to chant. If you don't know to chant, don't chant. But listen. Because by listening, it will have an impact on you. That's what Swami has said. Number one. Number two, there's an exam for which you have not studied. Now, tomorrow is the exam. So what do? You have to study as much as possible. See, the thing is, we all read and study all sorts of things in the world. We talk to people for hours. We listen to news. We listen to all sorts of things. It is time allocated for some form of learning. So the thing is, we need to know if we have neglected. See, a person who has not studied will make sure that they don't get distracted at all in their study. So that's all we can do. We may not be able to read everything in the subject, but at least something we'll learn. So I think that's the way to look at it. We should not see God will always help. That he will take one step, he will help. That's all I can say. So I think we should not give room for despair.
Thank you.
I guess there is no crash course.
Yes, Valu. No crash course here.
There are others who can give crash courses, not in Swami's organization.
Not in spirituality.
Okay. Does anyone has anything else to share? I think I have dominated the talk too much. So let's do our bit. Swami has asked us to do. We can listen, we can learn, we can try to put it into practice. Everything will benefit. Swami says, like a child, drinks milk. It doesn't know what is it contained. It doesn't even know that's milk. But just because it's drinking, it gets all the benefit. So Swami says, Shravanam is the first step. You just listen. It will go inside you. That's good enough. We have to allocate time. Just listen. Even if we can't chant, it doesn't matter. I think that's what Swami has given. Swami has given us options, solutions for whatever we want to do. Yes, we can't complete all the Vedic learning. That's a reality. And I think Sage Bharadwaja did that apparently. He studied for 100 years. Then he asked Brahma, give me another 100 years. So he got another 100 years and studied. Then he asked for another 100 years and he studied for another 100 years. And then he wanted more. Then apparently this Brahma came and showed 3 mountains. He said, these are the Vedas. From each one you have taken one handful. So don't go on this path of trying to master all the Vedas. Just do what you have learned. Just with that try to attain. Because you can never, because Ananto vai Veda, the Vedas are infinite. You can never fathom it. So I think that also gives us some.
Brother, there is a story, or not story, there is something I heard about. Dr. Kasturi was asking Swami, he wants to learn Vedam and he couldn't learn the Rudram. Then he asked Swami, and Swami said to say Sai Ram and contemplate on him like he's close, kind of. In that sense, what is our learning from that? Or what is the take from that?
Sai Ram, sister.
Sai Ram.
Anyone else would like to share their thoughts on this? It is not Kasturi, sister. It's Professor Nanjundaya. During the Shivam inauguration, this happened. So I will stop here if anyone knows this. I think Sitaram, you know this one. I'm putting him on the spot.
Yes, I heard about it from him directly, but I think that is his personal instruction, is how I say it.
Okay. So I will give you the full story. So what happened was Swami had gone to Hyderabad for Shivam inauguration. Shivam is the building of Swami in Hyderabad. So Kamavadani Garu, who had come and stayed with Swami ever since the 50s, late 50s, never left Parthi. He had this habit, whenever Swami is having his shower, he will sit outside and chant Rudra. For him, Rudra Vishayam is taking place, so he chants Rudra. So Professor Nanjundaya, he was watching it and he felt so bad that he has never learned. So I think when Swami came out, he realized Professor Nanjundaya was very sad. Swami doesn't like any one of us to be sad and feel dejected without any hope. So he will give some encouraging words. So Swami asked Kamavadani, he didn't talk to Nanjundaya, Swami asked Kamavadani, Kamavadani, are all these Vedams necessary to attain fulfillment? Then Kamavadani said, no, Sai Ram is enough. Then Swami looked at Nanjundaya and Swami left. Swami didn't tell him anything. You should understand that. Swami doesn't want people to be hopeless. But even though he has told him that, I think he should know, there's no point in saying, I don't know. You have to make effort. I think that's what Swami's expectation would be. I will stop at that. See, generally we are very selective in our, we think what makes things life easy, so we pick and choose. This has not been told by Swami in public.
Yeah.
Swami
Even
makes
though, brother, even though he's asking to chant Sai Ram, that Sai Ram itself has a lot of meaning into it, right? Swami's name carries a lot of messages. When you go on it, then Swami again says Veda is important, you have to learn kind of thing. Swami come bring it in another way to say it, right? That's how I'm now looking at it after you're saying the story. Thank you, Sai.
See, Sai Ram is ultimate. But to know the meaning of Sai Ram and to put it into practice, you need the knowledge of the Vedas.
Yes,
Yes,
thanks.
Sai
Yeah,
Ram.
in a direct or indirect way. Yeah, thank you.
Sai Ram, Sister Shiva.
Just to add to this discussion, something I'm kind of reflecting on that. Sometimes we join learning something because everybody at the center is doing, let me just do it. And this happened with me 10 years ago. People were learning. There was our Veda guru. She was teaching very well. Everybody, I started learning, but kids were small. Because everybody's learning, it's good to learn. Though it was really little painful, it was not coming from deep down. It was just because everybody's going, I would just want to be on that boat. And it happened that I end up leaving it in the middle. I mean, because, other things, and it was not coming from my heart. And I remember, Sister Aruna, you may know, is last year or year before, for 6 months before that, I would just keep praying to Bhagawan. Now I want to learn Veda. I think I'm ready now. And before that, I didn't learn. And I keep praying for 6 months. And that's where one day you posted Uncle Bala from Winnipeg or Saskatchewan. He's taking somebody, though I joined in the middle. And I said, how can it be? How Sister Aruna just posted that? Like, I've been keep praying. And I think in one of the study circle, Brother Aruna has also said, learn from somebody who's practicing. Learn somebody. And I was keep kind of praying to Bhagwan, send somebody or tell me who I can reach out to, who can teach me, but who's also practicing. At least 6-7 months, I distinctly remember, because I write when I have something to Bhagwan. And it came. So just to put the story kind of in this context, is maybe Bhagwan gave Sai Ram as chanting to that person because that's enough for that person. It's the aptitude, is the spiritual level the person is. That's more than enough. For other people, of course, you have to learn with meaning. Some people, you just chant. So I guess it's just where we are, what level we are. Are we really inquisitive? There's a deep desire to learn. It's not just to follow the trend, everybody's learning, so you learn, but you have to have that desire, that urge, that Bhagwan, I want to learn. And I think he will grant you, he will make things happen, he will show you the path, he will send somebody, because that's his mission that we all have to be lifted. So he has to do the work. It's just we have to show some kind of desire to do that. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sister. Anyone else would like to? Oh, it's already 4:33, so I will stop here. So there were many bottlenecks which we had in learning Vedas, and ever since Swami fixed it in 2021 for good, especially in the Western world. Before, people were even threatening to throw you out of the organization because you are teaching Vedas. But Swami has fixed it. So we are able to freely, openly learn and teach and practice. So Swami brings us the opportunity. Sometimes you have to wait. We have to wait with yearning, and then Swami will solve it. I think that's what I would say. So we will close the session today, and we'll meet again next Sunday. Sai Ram. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.